All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you daily horoscope for Saturday, the 14th of November 2020. We have a new moon happening at midnight, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, depending on wherever you're at in the world, at 23 degrees of Scorpio, okay? Now the sun, new moons are always new beginnings. This is a new beginning. We're dealing with a lot of shadow work, all right? Shadow work, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. And then there's a little bit more shadow work. Now we've had Mercury retrograde. We've had Mars retrograde. Mars just finished its retrograde. You know, it's kind of grueling, all right? It's difficult because Mars is our planet of motivation and action, okay? It's how we get things done. We see what we want. We know what we desire. And we say, this is how we put one foot in front of another to get it. Or this is not terrain for walking, this is terrain for driving. Or this is not how we're going to get there by car, we're going to get there by flight. You know what I mean? So it's just like we figure out mentally a way to maneuver to get that of which we want and love and desire. So this is how Venus, Mercury, and Mars all work together. Mercury is how we think about it, right? Venus is what we love and desire. And Mars is our planet of action, and we're getting that, okay? So Mercury and Mars both retrograde leading up to this time has been a challenge. Okay, we face a lot of obstacles. All right, and we have this opportunity right now with now Mercury direct, Mars direct officially as of Saturday. Is this powerful forward momentum, as well as Venus is full direct as well. We've had all three of our personal planets retrograde this year, which Venus is once every year and a half. You know, so to have both Venus and Mars retrograde, once again, we're getting pummeled. We're getting a lot, okay? And the key here is about personal growth, okay? So that's what's going on. That's what this new moon is all about. It's about understanding what we've been through, where we've gone this year, okay? The array of emotions that we've experienced, the array of conversations that we've had, the flux of feelings, you know, of love and hatred and a love to hate. Politically, we've seen the rise of that, and it's been outrageous. I remember when I was a young boy, it was like, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion. Nowadays, it's like you can't escape it, you know, so it's forced in our face in these difficult conversations, these hard opinions, and, you know, it gets brought up. So it's just like, okay, so we've been through a lot this year. Okay, 23 degrees, the sun, the moon. The sun is our point of illumination. This is where we are at in our journey. Okay, we are showing up in the sign of Scorpio. Mercury, just behind its tails, our illumination's tails, you know, our mindset, going deep beneath the surface. This is not surface level communication. This isn't surface level thinking. This isn't surface level healing. Okay. It's, you know, we don't get those great aha moments from fender benders. We get them from those car crashes that are like those near-death experiences. Okay, and 2020 has been full of those experiences for us, and there's almost a sense of leaning into it with all the shadow work that's particularly unique for this year. But there's a huge reward for this shadow work, right? It's us aligning with our dreams and manifesting those deep-rooted feelings, right? All the water signs deal with feelings. Our signs deal with structure, bringing them into, you know, manifestation of the physical reality. Okay, so where our feelings and form, you know, where emotion and matter meet, this is what we're in this creation process of. Okay, and to take this time right now, our sun is our point of illumination. Okay, our ego, where we're showing up. The moon is our point of reflection. It's what we're reflecting back. Earth's natural satellite, our nurturing mother, you know, our nurturing moon, our nurturing side of self, the side that people don't always see. And now we go hidden. Okay, this new moon, the moon goes hidden. It retreats within itself, and which is the epitome of the water signs. You know, it's just like it's a time to retreat, time to go inward and reflect what is going on. So this is like standing in front of a mirror, this new moon, okay? So it's like it's easier to see the flaws, you know, the speck in our brother's or sister's eye than to see the plank within our own, right? And this shadow work, this time, this solar reflection that's happening, Okay, this new moon, new beginning is us standing in front of the mirror and seeing our own shadow, to seeing our the speck and the plank in our eye. Okay, we have to be able to take the time for ourselves. You know, when we're so focused on everybody else, it's a distraction for our own healing. And this year has been just in our face with no, don't turn away. Don't look at your neighbor's hang up. Look at your own right now. What do you need? Life is sustainable. Happiness is sustainable. An attitude of gratitude is sustainable, right? And can we look at all the things that have happened this year and potentially over the past 5, 7, 10, 12 years, 15 years, whatever makes sense to you, and look how much we've grown, how much you've grown. Look how much you've learned, and now it's time to implement this. Okay, and implementing something is like, this is like a musician learning a new lick, a new guitar lick or trill or whatever it may be, whatever the instrument might be, and it's just like, okay, well, we've learned. This is the point of observation. Okay, we've seen the mirror. This is new moon, this reflection. We've seen the mirror, as every human being that we encounter is our reflection of our greatest strengths and weaknesses, right? So we've seen the reflection. We've seen somebody do this thing or hear this thing. Then we comprehend it, and we go back and we must rehearse. We must practice this before we go play it on stage. You know what I mean? So this is that part of that water sign. It's like we're going back now. We're taking this. We're reflecting. We're going to take it internally. We're going to rehearse this and practice, and bringing this greater understanding. Kind of where Mercury was, the 29th degree of Libra, about understanding. And that's where Venus is. We're bringing balance, balance into our lives, valuing balance and leaning toward the unknown, going into the new, releasing this old, moving toward the new. 23 degrees, almost an exact sextile to Jupiter at 23 degrees 15, 23 degrees 17. I mean, almost to the, space minute. This is a degree, this is a space minute, almost to the exact space minute sextile. Okay, so this reflection, once again, looking within ourselves, seeing our own mirror, our own reflection, looking at how much we've grown, looking at how much we still need to do, being really honest with ourselves, valuing ourselves, valuing our relationship with our mind, with our body, with our sense of motivation, okay, which we're going to be getting a new huge boost of motivation and an urge to, like, okay, we're finally making things move again. Okay, this sextile is extremely powerful, as Jupiter here is all about expansion. Expanding in Capricorn with limited resources, with limited funds, okay? Sandwiched between Pluto and Saturn, okay? So Jupiter wants to expand and bring more into our lives, more joy. Even in the sign of Capricorn, this can say more government, more structure, more order. Okay, so we can better deal with things when we, a pandemic or something like this happens for the future. How can we better deal with something? Greater knowledge, okay, about our government, about our society, okay, and a change and a transformation. This is about personal power and authority, okay? Both Capricorn and Scorpio are about power and control, okay? What is our sense of control? Well, I think I've said it on this channel a few times. If we stop and pay attention to every barking dog on our way to our destination, we'll never get there, right? What is our sense of control? Something Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, our control. If we sit down and we say, okay, I'm going to meditate right now. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to rehearse. I'm going to sit here with myself. And what have I learned? What have I discovered about myself this year? What is it that I don't like about myself right now? What is it that I want to change about myself? If I sit with this, like that musician or the artist learning a new technique, okay, painting or drawing or whatever, crocheting, okay, whatever this may be, writing poetry, whatever it may be. You know, it's to sit with this and rehearse this, to learn it, you know, as meditate, to know thyself, right? This is a better chance of knowing ourselves so that we can be that better sense of authority. So we can structure our lives, so we can change and transform our lives, understanding that we do have that power, right? And now here's the thing, too, with the shadow work. You know, we're the light, but we're also the shadow. Okay, this is one and the same. This is the left to the right, the yin to the yang, the masculine, the feminine. This is intertwined. Our heart, our mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, you know, this is all intertwined. You cannot remove one and not, you know, and you can't remove one and still have the others left. Okay, so it's just like, what are we fearing when it comes to the shadow work? It was a very important question here. Is it the light going into the unknown darkness? I don't think that's what it is. For some. But the shadow is part of our subconscious, right? And it's almost like the spider crawling on your arm or something, or the bug crawling on your arm. It's way more afraid of you than you're afraid of it, but yet we freak out, you know. Oh my God! Ooh. You know, or you're like me and you put it under a cup and you throw it outside. But, you know, so it's just like that shadow side of us is part of us. And if anything, that shadow side has been there for us to keep us small, to protect us. We'll go there first, to protect us, okay? We built that shadow for a reason, to protect us, to hide us. You know, the water signs, they go into hiding, right? Again, beneath the surface kind of thing. So it's to protect us, to comfort us. We hide these emotions to not feel insecure, to feel vulnerable. Okay? We hide certain things to feel powerful. So this is our shadow side of ourselves. Our shadow side of ourselves is afraid to see the light. More so than our light afraid to see the shadow. You know, it's just like I feel that people are, you know, this sense of self-discovery and moving forward, moving to this unknown is encouraged at this time, and appreciated and welcomed. But it's, do we and are we willing to let go of the shadow once we find what's there, and once we discover what it is that we've been holding on to and why we've been holding on to or harboring this thing, this feeling, this concept, this idea, this emotional attachment to a person. Emotional attachment to a thing, to consumption, you know. This can be anything. This can be anything. It's taking an honest look at ourselves during this time. The light, the sun, reflecting, moon, reflecting the light back to itself. We get to see ourselves. We get to sit with our own shadow if we really choose to take the time to. Okay. So this happens again. This happens at, look at this. It's like at 12:07 a.m. technically on Sunday the 15th, because I know, you know, you guys are all over here. I didn't want to put this out on Sunday. You know, this isn't a Sunday thing. This is because we're building up to this moment, right? We're building up to this all day, and then Sunday's this great new release. Okay. So we can talk about that new beginning, where we're headed on Sunday. But this is a time to kind of understand what we're headed into, right? And again, not being afraid to lean into that, lean into the unknown, and let go of the shadow side that no longer protects us, serves us, is helpful. All right, my friends. Always have a happy Saturday to you. Have a beautiful new moon, new sense of self-discovery, looking into the mirror of our souls. All right. Love you. I wish you enough, and we will see you tomorrow.